All right, welcome in everyone. This is the general reading for the week of March 23rd. So this is the last week of March. So we're going to kind of see what's going on as we transition out of March and then move into April. This is Monday through Sunday. And this is kind of, there's some pretty kind of interesting energies, big energies this week. We have 5 planets in Aries right now. And as we move into April, there's actually going to be 2 others that join. So at one point in April, there's going to be 7 planets in Aries, which is called, I think it's over 3. It's like 4 more planets, I think, in a house or a sign. It's called a stellium. So, and that's kind of profound. 7 planets is really unheard of a bit. So it's going to be an interesting, very strong Aries energy. Even as we move into, we're moving into Taurus. Wait, what date? Let me double check. I don't want to say it wrong. Yeah, on the 30th. So this week, or no, sorry, next week. To the beginning of the week, Venus will enter Taurus. So we are still in, the sun's still in Aries, but it will be moving into Taurus. But sorry. So Aries, we've had a lot of Aries energy this whole month, and we will continue for a bit as we move into April. But basically, so the Neptune in Aries is going to form a cazimi with the sun. And if you don't know what a cazimi is, cazimi really stands for, in Arabic, in the heart, in quotes. So it basically means that the planet is coming very close to the center of our solar system, which is the sun. And it's about, when it comes between 1 degree of the sun, they call it a cazimi. And what it really does is that energy, that planet really becomes renewed, reborn, and amplified. And it really helps elevate the energy of that planet to its highest potential. So, and with Neptune and the sun, there's a little bit of a paradox because the sun represents kind of the self, the I. And then Neptune really represents kind of the all that is, the oneness, the unconscious, our dream state. So it's really bringing in inspiration, intuition, and creativity to its highest potential for us at this time, this week. One thing to be aware of it is it can kind of blur boundaries, right? Because Neptune does blur boundaries a bit. So it's just being clear about opening yourself up to all the potentialities right now, and to life and to your dreams, not being too hardcore, but also, right, when it comes to relationships and things like that, like, don't get too crazy where you're just not, doing things that maybe you'll regret in a week or something like that. And then, that Aries energy is really strong. I am. It's about putting yourself out there, about how you show up and take action. So again, this really heightens some great possibilities with this. So I think take advantage of that. Dream big, right? Use your imagination right now, because the impossible can be possible. And then on the 25th, then Saturn actually creates a cazimi. And Saturn is also in Aries. So this has, again, right, different planet, different energy. And Saturn is the planet of time and space. It's more grounded, it's karmic, and it's around creating something in the physical reality. So where Neptune is really about going in the ethers, in the unconscious, in the divine, Saturn is about the physical reality. So, and Saturn wants to build. It wants to experience things. And how do I do that and be tactical, right? It's very logical. It's how do I make, the intangible tangible? And it's really wanting us to commit our energy, our time, our focus to things that are possible and make them a reality. And it's really realizing our dreams, right? We can dream a big dream, but how do we make it real? So I think that's going to be another big one. And then we have Venus conjunct Chiron on the 26th. And this, Chiron has been in Aries for some time, since 2018 actually. And really what that does, because Chiron is that, again, the wounded healer. It's about facing the things that we need to heal, our wounds, our traumas. And it's really been surfacing these things in Aries. And, really, right? Aries is about who I am, how do I show up in the world? It's about the expression of self, action, passion, creativity. And it's asked us to surface anything or wounding or negativity or belief systems that are blocking us from showing up authentically, taking up space, and creating our own life that aligns with who we really are. So that, with that conjunction with Venus, it's about love, right? Love, relationships, and emphasizes connection. So it's kind of like, it's asking us, it's the Aries added to the Venus is asking us to take courage and stand out for what we really want, and being our true selves in relationships and asking for what we need and desire. And we need to really rewrite any narratives about our identity when it comes up in relation to relationships, our identity or relationship with money, how we claim it. And then it's that conjunction is amplifying the awareness around all those things. And it's about self-worth and again, any issues with self-abandonment and things like that, especially with relationships. So I just wanted to call that out because there, again, still some strong Aries energy. So that's a fire sign. So there is fiery energy there. So kind of just watch your emotions this week. Passions could be on high. As we're really looking at the things, and again, as usual, life is about awareness, constant awareness about how do we shift, how do we align more with ourselves, how do we reach our highest potential. I mean, that's the point of being here in the physical world. So anything that is holding us down, blocking us, life in the astrology is helping support us in standing in our power, standing in our truth, aligning with our authenticity, aligning with the right relationships, aligning with the right work, being open to the impossible, being open to our dreams, making it tangible, transformation, right? These are all aspects of all the different planets. So let's get into the reading. So this is for the week. So we're going to see and just get some more detail. I'm actually going to be pulling two different tarots in kind of honor of Hawaii, which I was just there, but also with all of the current crazy storms happening there and the challenges. I'm honoring this to Hawaii and all the people there. But I'm going to pull some Hawaii Pono card oracles and then some of the Whispers of Aloha first, and then we'll get into the tarot. So the first card out is this Wisdom card, and then I'm going to read from the book. Calmness and leap of faith. So just intuitively, you know, it's like, I feel like this week is really about opening up, gaining some different perspectives, some wisdom here. But with all that fire energy, it's being able to stand, be the calm in the fire, right? Imagine where everything's burning around us. Like, how do we stay in our truth and our power and learn what the fire energy is helping us to learn? And also, like I said, with these Cazimis, the Neptune Cazimi, and that Chiron energy is about, like, what is it we need to really see about ourselves? But what are our dreams? And with that Aries, it's about taking action. It's about doing something differently. It's about being our true selves. Who am I? Standing in my power and potentially taking these leaps of faith on different areas of our life that maybe we've been holding back on. So let's see. The Basic 9 Wisdom card. The angels and guides wish to share with you that despite what you may have learned in school, knowledge and wisdom are not the same. Knowledge is foundational, or a starting point to give you a frame of reference. It is often acquired through learning, memorization, or determining. There's a little bit of some typos in here, but it's about navigating the mundane world. But wisdom is the stream of consciousness that flows from going further. It is naturally unbounded and limitless. It is a space where ego has no place, and thus the difference between a glass of water and the vastness of the oceans. So you're being encouraged at this time to use all that you've learned, setting aside ego to go beyond your limitations and fully share the wisdom of your genius. So, and it's in line with that. The leap of faith, right, is about, like, having the courage to share, but also apply what you've been learning, right? And that's kind of the unfortunate thing. Most of the times as humans in childhood, we're only learning knowledge, right? From books, what people tell us, how it's factual. This is how you have to be. But what is the true wisdom of the soul? And most of the time we're not learning all that till we're much older. But that's what's really happening right now. We're being really broken open to the divine wisdom. And, you know, it can be a little challenging, right, to go through that. And this calmness card, I think, is just, it's pretty straightforward. But let's see what it says. So in today's busy society with a myriad of distractions, it can become very challenging to find peace and calm, even at home. Your guides and angels realize this, but remind you that to seek it is to find it. If you pulled this card, then you are now being encouraged to take the time to enjoy a bit of quiet stillness and allow your mind, body, and spirit to grow calm. And more importantly, to rest. Set aside your busy electronics for a moment and sit with yourself. If your mind is quite active or you are prone to worrying, try sitting with yourself while listening to soothing music. So this to me is about integration. I've been getting a lot of messages recently about this integration happening right now. And the only way to really work through the integration with more ease and grace, it is to be calm. It is to be quiet and relax and give ourselves space to work through it, because this frequency of integration is, we're working through it from an energetic standpoint, but also physically, the physical body. So this isn't a time to push yourselves too hard. And then we have the Leap of Faith card. So it says, the wonderful and loving angels and guides who surround you are asking you now to take that leap of faith needed to take your life to the next level. Set aside your fears and know that they are always with you, nudging you, informing you, even protecting you. But taking a leap of faith necessarily requires utmost trust in this truth that you are not alone and that you have a whole team of angels and guides who surround you and are in your corner. If you pulled this card, you are contemplating your next step. Your guides are encouraging you to set aside your fears or hesitation and boldly take that leap of faith. You won't regret it, and in fact will enjoy far greater benefits than you thought possible. So there's that Aries energy. Taking bold moves. All right. Oh, and now I'm going to pull just a couple wisdom whispers of aloha. 2. Care for the ocean. Be aware of your impact. On the lookout. Be alert to the happenings around you. So there's definitely both of these are being aware of something, being alert or conscious about what's occurring and how your outward actions are impacting and creating, right? It's like the energy you're putting out. What is it bringing back to you? Assemble your desires. Gather the skills and materials for your purpose. So there's that Neptune Cazimi energy to me, and look at both these cards have an owl in them, and you got the wisdom card. So synchronistically, big message this week about listening for messages from your soul, from your team. And also, like, you're gaining a lot of wisdom this week. There's a lot opening up. There's a lot of puzzle pieces to me getting put together where you're like, oh, this makes sense. Or getting a new awareness. So it's like seeing things from a different perspective is really going to help you this week. And there's something about shifting to me. Shifting your outward action with Saturn and Aries energies. How are you taking action in life? What are your outward actions again? And shifting, because I think you're going to gain a lot of wisdom about how you need to show up differently to create different outcomes and different things in your life. Okay, let's move to the tarot. So I'm going to kind of move these. So we have the Emperor, the King of Pentacles, and the Ten of Wands. There's a lot of masculine energy here with the Emperor and the King of Pentacles. And this is a lot about the physical reality, about money, about work. Again, what your life looks like in the physical. And the Emperor too is about control and like leadership. But I think, to me, the wisdom here is for people who are showing up too strongly on their masculine characteristics, on the masculine energy. And it's created a life or feeling that's heavy, burdensome. You feel like you're carrying too much weight, too many responsibilities, maybe a lot of people's baggage. And there's something about gaining a higher perspective of that realization of, I tend to lean too strongly on my masculine. And for those of you that are feminines, that's a big thing of like I need to add more feminine energy into my life to alleviate this. And there's a new chapter that wants to open up where you're finding more harmony in that yin-yang balance within your life to find more flow, ease, fulfillment here. And for those of you that are masculine, I think what this is really kind of transforming into more of your leadership role in life and leading from a new way instead of leading out of a sense of control and domination and money and, being too hardcore, you need to infuse too the same thing, more feminine, of like that supportive, nurturing, loving energy. And what kind of container am I creating in my life for my partners, my partner, my wife, for my family, for my whoever, my business, my coworkers, my friends, or if you're looking for partnership, like, am I putting out the energy of a healthy masculine to then attract the type of, partner that I really want? So there's definitely something here about the masculine energy that you're becoming more aware of and getting more wisdom about how that plays a part in your personality and how you show up in the world. And definitely with the Ten of Wands, it has leaned too much in the detriment and has caused more feelings of burnout and stress. And, there's not this heaviness. Yeah, Knight of Swords, Two of Wands, and we have the Knight of Wands. More masculine energy. So we have knights, we have a king, we have the emperor. So again, a dominating energy of the masculine here. And in the heart of the reading, it's about a decision of, how do I want to move forward? How do I want to expand? Right? How do I want to expand my life, expand my frequency, expand my wisdom, my awareness? And this is exactly what you need to be aware of to help you expand, and what decisions. There's something definitely about making new decisions in how you show up in life energetically, and making some changes here, because then with these two knights, you have this Knight of Swords that, I'm feeling more on the detriment of, like, the Knight of Swords can be too impulsive. These two can both be very impulsive. They don't think before they act. The Knight of Wands really is more motivated by passion. The Knight of Swords is more motivated by, like, their mental space. But the Knight of Swords can be the angry knight. So there could be some anger and resentment about you having to take on too much masculine energy if you're a woman. But also she's kind of stuck between these two knights of, like, I have the angry knight and then I have the irresponsible knight, or the knight kind of that's more selfish and the, you can't rely on knight. So that's what's interesting here. But she's becoming clear, and, like, she's looking out from a different perspective to kind of see all of this so she can shift this. So we have the Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Cups, and then the Seven of Cups. And I'm going to pull this because I have to. Look at that, the Sun and then the Star and the Death card. Wow. So, and this is good because I think we're really transforming here. We're transforming out of our old patterns, our old stuck kind of identities that aren't really who we want to be anymore, right? But this to me has stemmed from, there's a stem here about this being tied to our family and our ancestral lineage of potential patterns. Maybe you have a pattern of the females in your family kind of showing up in the same way. They always had to become more masculine in how they show up in the world because, for different various reasons. But this is time for you to really do some, in this card, Alice is kind of taking a nap with her 3 cats. And to me, that's the rest and relaxation and the calmness here about, like, there's some integrating and real big shifts happening that have been really rooted in deep, like, family karmic energies here. And you coming in here at this time, part of your contract was to help shift this and change the patterns. And I love this because then you're going to the Ten of Cups. So this is more finding a life and patterns and in aligning with your true self to really have a life that's way more fulfilling for you, whether it's in relationships, in just in general what your life is providing you. And it's opening up a lot of new potential for you, right? We talked about that, the leap of faith. What is your dreams and desires here? And that's that Seven of Cups. That's also the Neptune energy. And taking a leap of faith towards things that you really want and that you really desire. And guess what happens after that? The sun, the star, huge transformation and rebirth here. And happiness, we have healing, we have another wish fulfillment card, and then huge rebirth. So this is what you're going through. This is what's on the other side of this. But it's just really, you need to become aware of this and integrate all these different pieces to your identity, to your patterns and beliefs, to then change how you outwardly show up in the world. And that's when you start putting out different energy. And what's hilarious, I literally just felt a card in my in my shirt. So when I was shuffling, somehow a card got tucked in my shirt. And it's the Wheel of Fortune. So, I mean, I can't make this up. This is one of the best weekly readings that I've done this year. And this is Divine and Destined and Fated. So something this week, to me, is a huge destined event for you. That's, you're going through some major rebirth. You're going to gain some major aha wisdom moments. And this is going to really shift who you are. So be easy on yourself this week, because I definitely feel a lot is here. And we just went through the spring equinox, which just literally is also like a rebirth, right? The spring is a rebirth out of the winter. It's a rebirth of the earth, of all of us. It is that time. So this is right on point with what's happening from a nature perspective in the universe right now. So amazing things. Be very aware this week as you navigate life. Even like be highly aware of what your dreams, because I think there's going to be a lot of integration happening in your dreams space and just what's coming up for you. And you may come across some situations that are going to kind of test you to be like, how do I want to show up differently than I used to before? Or how do I want to put up some boundaries to say, no, I'm not going to do everything for everyone. And where I'm constantly in burnout, something like that. All right, everyone. Amazing, amazing reading. I'm excited for what this week brings to us. Don't forget, if you haven't yet, join the Lyran Soul Tribe by subscribing. Stay connected. Like this video, and also let me know how you guys have been faring this month. And I feel like this integration has been really happening through March. So let me know how that's going as well. But thank you all for joining, and I will see you in the next video.